Coming up next then, can I please introduce to you from Ansell, Mr. Paul Tierney. And that, Mr. Paul Tierney. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, Paul.
Thank you.
Take it away.
Thank you very much. So, good morning, everybody. My name's Paul Tierney from Ansell. I guess I probably should start by explaining who Ansell are. We're a global health and safety manufacturer. We've been established for more than 125 years. Our business is global. We have more than 800 salespeople around the world. We also are a true manufacturer in terms of safety. We have more than, I'll move that forward, sorry. I'm sure it's, okay. Okay, so this was a slide I was looking at and talking to. So essentially we have more than 800 employees around the world, just in sales, but we are a safety manufacturer. We've been established for more than 125 years, and our business is safety. So that's a little bit about what Ansell are, but what do we want to do? Well, our mission really is about protecting people. So we're really about innovative safety solutions, trying to make sure people are safe wherever they are in the world. As you can see from the slide here, we produce around 12 billion gloves per year, which means that we're able to protect 10 million workers every single day. But this business has been based largely on PPE, so the preventative measures of safety. What we're trying to do now with Intelliforce is move into a different space. So we're looking to try and stop many of the key injuries that are unmet in the industry from happening before PPE is even used. So this is where Intelliforce will come into play. So what are the biggest unsolved workplace injuries? Well, clearly they're WMSDs. So MSDs, musculoskeletal diseases, work-related, are the biggest unmet need for us in terms of how we can protect our employees and the people that we work with. So 30% of all of the injuries that happen in the workplace are from MSDs, and these can be prevented if we use the right information, the right data. So this is what we're trying to do with our new technology. So for us, we have, as you can see, 70% of all injuries are preventable. So if you're wearing PPE, you can prevent a large number of injuries, but it's the silent ones that you can't catch and you can't keep away from our workforce. So the key number on this slide, even though it's the smallest one, is that 18%. So 18% of people who work in industrial environments, if they get an MSD, they have to leave the business. It's not about retraining, it's not about wearing different gloves, it's not about wearing a different chemical suit. It's a damage to a nerve, it's a damage to a bone or a disc, which means that they have to leave the industry, which is really kind of a huge number that we have to address. So how can we do that? Well, what if we could quite quickly understand where people are in their journey? How can we make sure that we understand what injuries are happening and prevent them in real time? So this all is about Intelliforce and using the right level of protection at the right time, but also using data to ensure that we can access people's movements on a day-to-day basis, understand what they're doing in their role, and then bring forward a solution to stop these injuries from happening in the first place. So what if you could see beyond the obvious is the message here on this slide. Okay, so what do we have? Well, Intelliforce has two distinct product lines. One of them, as you can see here, is a wearable device. So essentially, this is a bit like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, which tracks the movement in real time of the hand and wrist to understand what people are doing, to see whether they're getting close to a danger zone, whether they're overworking, whether they're doing something incorrectly. And the second one really is about that 70% I mentioned earlier, which is the 70% of preventable injuries. So this zone series, which I'll explain further, is a system of tracking where people are, so we can give them the right gloves at the right time for the right application. So those are the two distinct pathways that we're working with. So, firstly, how it works. We have what we call an Intelliforce Pod. So this pod is, as I said, a bit like a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, which tracks the movements of the hand in real time. It directly loads that information straight to the cloud, and is then, we can track around about 1,000 movements an hour for each individual employee, which gives you a huge amount of live data so you can convert into real-time information for safety and ergonomic specialists. You then have a hand wrap that goes on the back of your normal glove. So something you already use, so there's no change management or convincing people to wear this. It's very, very simple. And this pad goes onto the back of the hand and allows the product to stay firmly in place so we get the correct level of information, we get the right information back as opposed to see what people are doing. We also have what we call a charging tower, so we can store 100 of these pods anywhere in the factory, anywhere in the plant, to ensure that the information is uploaded correctly to the server and then downloaded, and overnight it will recharge the pod for the next morning. So essentially what happens is you have data for your hand and wrist, which is collected in real time. It's sent to the cloud every single night. The employee can also have the app, which will tell him exactly what movements he or she have been making over the course of the day. And then from there, we'll send to a dashboard, which is created for each individual company, some information about who's doing what, who's getting close to the danger zone, what can be done to remedy the situation. And this is all part of a very seamless integration of this new technology. So as I said, for Ansell, this is completely new. We are a PPE company moving into a space which is a little bit more of a software service, but certainly it's been really, really beneficial so far. So these are the movements that we capture. So these are some of the most important movements, the 6 most common movements in industry. So you have deviation, you have extension and flexion of your hand, and then you have supination and pronation of your hand. So these are very, very common in every industry that you work in, but pronation and supination would be like turning the screw or opening the door. These are the ones that cause the MSDs over time. Those 6 key movements can be termed as fast or slow. So if they're a fast action, these ones lead to the most severe injuries. The slower ones tend to be more of a build-up over time, but they're the most common. So this is a day in the life of somebody using the system. So John will start his shift first thing in the morning. He will come in, and as I said, the charging tower can be placed anywhere. He'll pick up his Intelliforce Pod, put his normal PPE on, put it into the back of his glove, and automatically the pod will start registering his hand movements immediately and upload that information to the cloud. If something is, obviously then John will go about his day-to-day work. If something is wrong, the safety officer, the ergonomic manager can see straight away that he's doing something incorrectly or he's becoming at risk of getting an MSD, and can quite quickly come and talk to John and talk him through what he needs to do to make it work. And then obviously, as I said before, each individual has an Intelliforce app, so they can review in their own time very, very quickly where they are making mistakes or what they're doing correctly, in fact, from the training. So this is a test case that we've done with the world's biggest logistics and distribution company. And what we did here is we did a trial. This is the trial of this project. So what we've managed to do is gather 80,000 hours of worker movements, which turns into 275 different movements of pronation, supination, and all those things. So what can we do with that data? That's the most important thing. What is the data good for? So from that data, we were able to understand that 70% of the workers here in this logistics company were overusing the pronation and supination movement that we just discussed before in the slide. So from there, what do? Obviously, individually, we went and trained the people, the teams. We can do it in a large group or in a smaller group. But this was really, really important to reduce, as we said, step 4 is what do you do with that then? 38% of those 70% of the people had a reduction in the chances and the risk of getting an MSD. So quite a big project. More than 2,000 people were in the original trial. And that's huge for me. 275 million movements from those 2,000 people is a really, really big indication of where they've gone. And this company, as I said, you probably guessed who it is, the largest distribution and logistics company in the world, have actually changed their process. They've actually made a change so that this doesn't happen. So it's not only preventing it longer term, but it's also making changes in the plant to make sure people understand, that this is something that cannot continue. So from there, as I said, we're trying to connect and protect the industrial workspace with a different set of competencies from our side. So this is really about gathering data and understanding when these injuries will occur, as opposed to preventing an accident from happening. So finally, what it does, we also have, as I mentioned before, a zone system, which is a little bit different. This is about ensuring people have the right glove at the right time in the right place. And an example of that would be, if I show you quite quickly, you can see here an industrial application where you have 2 distinct areas, Zone 1 and Zone 2. In Zone 1, it may be a machine shop where the need for PPE is much higher than in maybe the packaging department. But as soon as you move between zones, if you're carrying the device, it will automatically buzz. It almost becomes a walking live risk assessment. It will tell the employee, hey, you're moving from zone 1 to zone 2. You don't have the correct PPE. Can you ensure that you've got the right gloves on? Can you ensure you're wearing the right chemical suit? Can you ensure that you've accepted the risk here by at least acknowledging that you're moving from one zone to the other and ensuring that you have the right level of protection? So this is very, very new for us, but the beacon system itself is very, very intuitive. It will automatically tell the safety officers also, hey, John has moved from zone 1 to zone 2. We're not sure he has the right PPE. So it's almost doing a live risk assessment, which is something that we talk about. When we talk about the 70% of injuries that can be removed by wearing the right PPE, this really is another way of ensuring that people in big factories and big sites with big geographies are protected at all times and reducing that 70%. So this is Intelliforce. And I know we won't have time for questions because I've probably gone over my time slot, but thank you very much for listening and enjoy the rest of your day.